Hi YouTube, I'm back. There was one thing, and I started to put this in my other video, my advice video, that I wanted to kind of touch base with everybody on, and keep in mind that these are just my personal views and my personal opinions when I put these videos out there. This is nothing against anybody, this is just some of the thoughts that I've had. This video is about donations, okay, and there are certain places that I have noticed that I like to donate to. One of the things that I had thought of is if you guys are like me and you buy quite a few newspapers, which I have kind of calmed down on newspapers here lately because I go to the recycling center and I get a lot of my inserts from there, but one of the things that I do with my newspapers, when I do buy a lot of newspapers, you know, like sometimes I'll have a lot of ECBs that I want to use, I'll go and I'll buy newspapers from CVS. Or if I have a lot of register rewards that I need to use up right away, you know, and there's no good deals at Walgreens, I will go and use them and buy my newspapers at Walgreens, because the Walgreens that I go to does sell newspapers. Trying to keep my eyes open, guys. I've been on cold medicine, so I'm kind of dopey. But what I do with my newspapers is I take them to nursing homes. And the reason is because a lot of the residents in those nursing homes, they don't do like a newspaper subscription, you know, especially when I can get newspapers for different cities that they're not used to. They get a real kick out of looking at them newspapers and all the ads and the circulars and stuff like that. I'll take the inserts out, and then I'll take the newspapers up to a nursing home and donate them to them, you know, and the nurses will always write me a receipt, you know, saying how much I paid for them, you know, how many, the quantity, things like that, so I can, you know, continue to claim them on my taxes. But I noticed that the residents, they really like getting those newspapers. You know, it's like a special treat for them. They enjoy it. So keep that in mind when you have your newspapers. Instead of throwing them in the trash or taking them to a recycling center, take them up to a nursing home. You know, because the nursing homes will take and put them in the recycling center when they're done with them. And I usually do this on Sundays. And it just gives them a little something to look forward to on Sundays. And food pantries are really good places to donate to if you have them. Goodwill is an excellent place to donate to. Churches are really good. And free clinics. Free clinics are excellent places to donate to. I have donated numerous diabetic meters to this one particular free clinic in my town. And they're always grateful for anything that I can get. If I get extra bandages, you know, Neosporin, things like this, they will take these products and they will give them to their patients to take home with them, you know. And somebody had made a video not too long ago about donating to schools and school nurses, and so I started doing that, you know, because a lot of kids are not being taught proper hygiene at home. So they'll come to school, you know, and they won't have their sanitary napkins, they won't have their deodorant, they won't have been brushing their teeth, you know, things like that. So I'll donate to them, you know, toothpaste, sanitary napkins, deodorant, things like that. And school nurses are always appreciative of clothes, because especially the elementary schools, because the little kids will sometimes have accidents, you know, or they'll rip their pants on the playground, you know, they get dirty, things like that, and they won't have any spare clothes. Now, I've got two little ones in elementary school myself, and I usually send extra clothes with them in their book bags. But this is just some things to keep in mind when you're doing your donations, you know, to consider the elderly, to consider needy families. You know, there are several needy families in my area that I help with my couponing, not to mention myself, my family, and my extended family. I coupon for several other needy families, and I have taught the mothers in these families how to do what I've been doing to kind of help them get by through some of these rougher times. So this was just something I wanted to touch base with everyone about. Get that information out there, you know. And even if you don't take newspapers to a nursing home, if you take things like baby powder, body wash, shampoo, you know, to the residents, especially older residents, and in the wintertime, their skin will get so dry. And the things that they provide in a nursing home, and especially if they don't have any family to bring these types of things to them, or if they do have family that don't care, you know, because you get them kind of people sometimes, they're really appreciative of things like that. So, I don't know, it's just something to keep in mind, something to consider, and, you know, something to put in your life, you know, because when you put something good out there, something good's going to come back to you. And as I've told everybody that I have ever said, you know, God don't like ugly, but He sure does like good, you know. I mean, He sure does like having good things happen in your life, especially when you will pass that good on to somebody else. So just kind of keep these things in mind and consider it, you know, try it out. See how good it's going to make you feel when you can do something nice for somebody else. So, that's just my thought, you know, my advice, my good karma, you know, anything you want to call it. But thanks for watching and have a good day.